Witches podcast, where we talk about anything under the sun, from books, entertainment, self-help, and even a little spice. I'm Victoria.
I'm Kiara.
And I'm Katalyn.
And today we're joined by guest host Summer.
Hello!
Summer! Because, as we said earlier in the year, or early in the season, I guess, we are doing a multi-part series about the SJM universe, again, excluding Catwoman. And today is the first episode for ACOTAR.
Woohoo! I've been waiting for this one.
So,
excluding Catwoman.
Listen, I'm gonna mention it every time. You guys should know this by now.
So funny.
Anyways, so essentially what's going to happen with this episode is it's going to be kind of like how the Throne of Glass one was, whatever. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Where Summer has an abundance of notes. She's going to share those notes. We're going to riff off of that and then just go from there. Because, yes, even though I am a really big theory person, I don't have any of my theories organized anymore because it's just progressively gotten more chaotic. So Summer is the organized one of us.
Summer is. I know we joke about this a lot on the podcast. I am, like, you guys will joke that I am sometimes the person with, like, the red string. Summer is the red string, but organized in, like, a book.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah.
That literally is what my book is. It is the red string book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
I'm very proud of it.
We're happy for you.
I would save it in a fire.
Good to know.
Oh, man. I have something to tell you guys. Speaking of fires, I have something to tell you guys later.
Speaking of fires. Before we get into that, we're going to do our quenchable moments. If you're new here, quenchable moment is something happy or exciting that's happened to us over the last week or so that we want to share with each other and with you. And like always, we like to start us off with our guests when we have them. So Summer, what is your quenchable moment this week?
Okay, so me and Victoria were sharing a brain cell this week.
She just told us that.
It was so weird. So this last week was Prime Day, and I just want to preface this. I'm not proud. I'm not proud of what I did on Amazon.
Giving money to Jeff Bezos.
And my support for Bezos. I'm not claiming to be proud of it. Do I regret it? Also, no. So I bought two things that I'm really excited about. I got a little tanning pool for my balcony because my fucking apartment pool is constantly closed for maintenance. Like I sent Kiara a snap of it the other day and it was legit like Shrek green.
It was like, I'm like, that
it was
disgusting. Like it should. It was so gross.
And in Texas,
what did I say?
Hot out here.
I was like, that looks like the Nickelodeon slime that they would give it like the award show. Like it was like that green.
I'm proud of this grandpa. So it's so fucking hot out here. Either I am in water outside or I'm inside all the time. And that's so depressing. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to get one of those little tanning pools, put it on my balcony. I'm going to sit my ass in it with my Kindle and live my best life. So that's what I did. Mm-hmm. I got my little pool. I set it up yesterday. And it is everything that I hoped it would be and more. It's great.
I'm so happy
and
for you.
And then I also, when I redid my book room like last December, my whole vision was to have the standing desk with the walking pad. I want to be one of those walking pad girlies, like on TikTok, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I finally ordered the walking pad on Prime Day. It was $100 off, and I got it set up yesterday. And I just feel like now I really don't ever have to leave my apartment.
Well,
and I'm so thrilled about it.
And
I can swim here. I can exercise here. What else do I need?
Nothing.
A grocery
and
store.
The reason why Summer said that we were sharing a brain cell is because I also bought both of those things.
She did! Oh, so we're going to be sending each other tanning pool and walking pad snaps.
Yep. I'm so jealous.
We're those bitches now.
Yep.
I'm so jealous.
Anyways, that's it for me.
I want those things. I want them.
I'm really thrilled about my quality of life here now.
I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm actually very happy about that statement, Summer.
Thank you.
Because I'm your friend and I know things.
It's been a rough. The end of last year was rough.
It was
for
rough.
the girl.
It's been rough. It's okay.
But
I took your roughness and now it is my roughness. So things get rough.
Well, pass that off to someone else soon.
That's exciting. I'm happy for you. I loved getting the snaps of you filling up your fucking little lounger situation.
Oh yeah, I got a water hose that attaches to my kitchen sink because I'm in an apartment. Oh, I saw the water hose. Oh, I rigged the shit out of that
Yeah,
thing.
she did. It was great. I'm really happy for you. And I hope Charlie loves it just as much as you do.
She fucking hates it. She hates it. She's so scared of it.
Summer will be taking her body soups on the balcony from now on.
You know what? I can body soup inside, outside. I never have to leave the body of water, which is my ultimate life goal.
Nice.
Yes. Katalyn, what was your quenchable moment this week?
My quenchable moment is that it's the last week of summer school.
Thank God.
So
how long?
And then
how long do you get off?
2 weeks.
Okay, not long enough.
Teachers report,
but
it's fine.
Still,
because I'll probably sign up to help at registration and stuff. But I had like 6 kids finish classes this last week, so I only have 4 left in my class.
Nice. Yeah. Happy for you.
And they get paid. So. Yeah, they're getting paid for their classes that they finish. So I'm like, get out of here. Go have a summer.
Yes, go enjoy yourself. Everyone deserves a summer, including you, Katalyn.
But then one of my kids just texted me asking if you could come hang out this week. And I'm like, no. I know you're bored. Stay home.
Go read a book.
He's going to come on the last day when we're going to do like movies and video games and stuff. But it's just... Anyways. Hey, at least they like you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I will take that win.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's my last week of 410s, and I'm really happy about that.
I'm happy for you.
So,
yeah. You deserve to sleep.
Anyways. Sleep when I'm dead.
Well, that's good. I'm happy that you are finally going to get some time off. Victoria, what was your quenchable moment this week?
My quenchable moment is that we just scheduled a trip to one of my favorite places on the planet called Water Country, USA. It is one of the biggest water country parks in the country. It is in Virginia. It's directly across the highway from Williamsburg, from, oh my God, Busch Gardens. And we used to go there all the time when I was a kid. And then, of course, we moved to the Midwest, and there's nothing to do out there. So when we moved back, we started going again, and it's going to be me, my mom, my sister, my uncle, and his wife. And I'm really excited because I love boating.
Listen,
and I love water parks.
I love a good water park, but thinking about it, all I can think about is the chafing that always happens. Every goddamn time. Miserable. You would just catch me in the lazy river the whole time because I'm like, I'm not walking around. That shit.
Yeah, that's why I like to wear my swimsuit shorts, so that way I don't have that problem anymore. Because I am still # a big bitch. And, I can't deal with that. But we spend so much time, like, on the rides or in the lazy river that it's really not an issue. So I'm just really excited.
When are you going?
We're going the first week of August.
Oh, perfect time.
Nice. So it'll be nice and toasty. I've been working on my tan. I'm actually starting to look like a black person, so...
I will also be going somewhere hot the first week of August. Home. I'm going to be going home for Taylor Swift in summer. This one. Not the actual season, but this summer.
Summer of the person.
The person. This one on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
We will be seeing each other.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
So. Yes, we fucking will. Y'all are about to be sick of us.
Never. Yeah. Anyways. Kiara, what was your quenchable moment this week?
I wouldn't really call it a quenchable moment. It is something that has consumed my life for the past 4 or 5 days at this point. I feel like Summer understands this feeling. I finished Fourth Wing.
Oh yeah, I understand that deeply.
Listen, if you've read it, you understand. And this is they have not read it.
No, I'm blissfully unaware.
Oh, okay.
I gave it to Emily literally last night. It was 9:00 at night. Homegirl's already in the hundreds. Already in the hundreds.
It flew. It read so fast for me.
So good. Let's see. She's on chapter...
I'm still kicking my butt for not getting first edition.
Chapter 10.
Same, girl. Same.
Chapter 10. Oh, chapter 10. This is where they see the gauntlet. So, for the first time. That's where Emily's about to start. So, I literally finished it at night, and I laid in my bed, staring at my ceiling for an hour, spiraling. I made a countdown with a picture. Like, I know the exact time that the book's gonna come out. Like, my home screen is the second parapet scene near the end, Summer.
Oh, I know what art you're talking about.
It's so good.
This almost sounds like SJM level.
I could see it getting
guys,
to that level.
This is why I wait until the series is fully out, because like I am consumed. Like, I don't know what to do with my life.
I just had so much FOMO. I wanted to be in on it, you know?
I did too, and now
I feel like it doesn't happen in the book community like this that often, where there's such like a mass like.
And it's a good book.
Craziest marketing I've ever seen.
And it's a good book too, because sometimes everyone's like, look from Blood and Ash, like everyone's like all about it, but it was like some people liked it, some people didn't. It was like, for the majority, this book is like, holy shit.
And it was well written,
very well written. I need the second book so bad. I literally messaged Vanessa and I'm like, does your country have the paperbacks? Because I want a paperback so I can tab it. Summer. 9 times. Someone counted 9 times.
Oh, yeah. I went back and tabbed all of it too.
I want to tab it so bad. And so I'm just like, guys.
I figured it out though. I figured it out super early and I was like,
listen.
I know what's going on. I know what the fuck's happening.
I was just telling the girls this before you came on for the last episode. I called the dragon situation before it happened. I'm like, there's no way. Like, the way that they talked about the dragons leading up to everything, I'm like, no, she definitely is going to. And then it happened and I'm like, I'm so right.
The last line of that book made me gasp.
Which is why
anyway,
I need the next book. Anyways,
I'm just realizing I haven't moved for a couple of minutes, so I might look
I was like, is it very good?
We're just like having a moment over here. Guys, if you haven't read it, go read Fourth Wing. Don't let me tell you what to do, but like, go read Fourth Wing.
It's a great book. It was one of my favorite reads this year.
Honestly, I keep going back and forth telling people to read it and then telling people to like, save the pain, wait for all the books to come out. Because this is exactly why I wait so long to read things. Like, why I waited so long to read Crescent City 1. Like,
honestly, I've had worse in terms of cliffhangers. Like, I don't feel miserable. Like, I'm just excited for the next one.
I have so many theories in summer. I'm literally gonna fucking send them to you. Like, I have so many theories about like.
Hey, you know what you should do? Put them in a book. Make a little book.
I have them all in the notes app, and I want to get the paperback, and I'm gonna get a notebook, and I'm gonna start just.
Hey, full support. Full support right here.
The historian of me, Katalyn, you understand when you are researching and taking notes and you were just, that is how I feel. Like, I just want to do so much with this book, but I also like don't want to do it to this one because it is the first edition, which I somehow
you slut. How'd you get that?
I stumbled upon it literally in May, like when Riley was visiting. We were in Bainbridge and we went to a random bookstore and I was like, "Oh, do you guys have this book? Like it just came out. It literally had just came out." And they had one left.
I saw one at Target, and I
was like, "Oh, like it's like it has the sprayed edges. Like I should get it because it's pretty."
Yeah.
I literally almost did not buy it, but I'm excited to have a job and I didn't have an income. But I'm just like, it has the sprayed edges. Like I should get it. And the way that everyone is going feral for a fucking sprayed edge right now.
Yeah.
Envy of us all. Anyways,
that's my quintuple moment. Not so much a quintuple moment, just a. Now you guys know where my headspace is going to be for the next 3 months until Iron Flame comes out.
So I will take this as confirmation that we'll probably have an episode on Fourth Wing eventually.
Oh my god, yes.
Full send.
There you go. Keep an eye out for it.
Summer and I
Catalyn's like, I'm about to
once I get a copy, I guess.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I can't speak to when it'll happen, but it'll happen. So just keep an eye out for that one. So as you guys know, I've been on a health journey, and with that, I've been looking for tools and products to help me get my health back in check. One of the things I've really been focusing on is staying hydrated, and a product that's really helped me with that is Liquid IV. In just one stick, you get 5 essential vitamins and 2 times faster hydration than with water alone. It's also come in super clutch when I'm out and about, and I realize I haven't hydrated well enough. Plus, it's super convenient to keep in my bag or in my car in case of an emergency. Right now, you can get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use the code STAYTHIRSTY at checkout. That's 20% off of anything you order when you shop for better hydration today using promo code STAYTHIRSTY at liquidiv.com. Stay thirsty, bitches. Anyways, for right now, let's get into ACOTAR because Summer has a lot of fucking notes.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
She told us to keep
I think I said this last time too.
I'm really sorry, guys. Like, this is an ACOTAR episode, so what better way to like talk about like what is seen as like the new fandom with the Fourth Wing to go into ACOTAR?
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
Let's go back to where it all started, right?
Yes.
You know, I think I said this last time. You know that gif of the cat like keyboard smashing notes? That was me this morning.
I am the cat, the white one that goes.
Yeah,
that's me all the time. I'm just like, what is happening?
I just want to really quickly
hat on.
I just really want to quickly highlight Summer's literal first note before she actually gets into the real stuff. It says, "All right, buckle up."
I'm already
buckling. All right, bitches.
All right,
bitches, buckle up.
Already,
I was like, okay,
let's just set the tone.
Also, all SJM universe spoilers. So
yeah. If you've gotten this far and you don't realize that by now, that's
if you have listened
someone will say something.
The intro to this and the Throne of Glass episode, like, what are you doing here if you've not read any of this?
I'm just saying, someone will say something. So
yeah, spoiler for everything except for Catwoman. Save it and come back.
Shut the fuck up about Catwoman.
Every chance she can get, she will fucking say it.
And you know what? I'm going to keep doing it because you both promised me in the Throne of Glass episode that you were going to read it. So I couldn't.
I'm going to keep doing it.
Hey, maybe, you know what? I am like flying through books right now, so maybe I'll pick that one up next. I literally just binged 5 books in 3.5 days, so.
Do it. I dare you. Someone should.
How dare you.
Let's buckle down and get into it.
Okay, so the way that we started the Throne of Glass talk was like our main objective with the theory talks, right? Heading into CC3, we're trying to figure out what the fuck has been going on here. Mm-hmm. How are these worlds connected? What did the Asteri have to do with these worlds? And try to break apart some of these breadcrumbs that this bitch has been leaving us since ACOTAR 1. Earlier than that in the universe. So let's just get into it. Most of my notes focus on the Asteri and the traces that they have left in the ACOTAR world, what that means going forward. I also have a lot of stuff on the Illyrians that I would love to get to.
We know you love your Illyrians.
That's a whole iceberg, baby. Okay. So I'll give us a brief rundown of what we know about the Asteri in the ACOTAR world. Mm-hmm. So I think, am I safe to say this is the oldest world? Because it was 16,000 years old when it was 16,000 years ago Amryn crossed into the world, and the Daglan ruled Prythian for millennia before that.
Yeah,
she came from a young world.
Yeah, I think it would be a fair statement, just because, especially when we get into Crescent City and we're having that reveal of like, oh, everyone came from different universes. Here's these places that we thought they might have come from. A statement is made at some point about how the powers have faded.
Right. Yes.
As time has gone on.
More and elemental fae. And,
Mm-hmm. And in Prythian, you can distinctly see that the fae there have not just more magic, but a larger variety of magic.
Right. So, yeah, safe to say that this is the oldest and most established world out of the 3. Honestly, we don't know that much about Throne of Glass, but in terms of our concrete timeline, my concrete timeline that I've written out in this book, that's the farthest back of the 3 that I can.
And it could also be not so much that ACOTAR is the oldest, but ACOTAR has the oldest magic system. Because it could very well be that the universe of Throne of Glass is the oldest. It's just the newest in terms of having magic users.
Mm-hmm. Also, so it could be that the ACOTAR universe has the oldest type of like record keeping.
I was just going to say that. Historians, they have the oldest evidence.
We have the oldest evidence of record keeping within Prythian, because these people they live so long, and they're like, I mean, Amryn's.
They've gotten to that point as a civilization.
Yeah, they have these people who are able to like tell them about these times, whereas in the Throne of Glass universe, we don't really see people that old, other than like, Maeve and Erwan and stuff. Like you don't have that age with it, and you lose a lot when you don't write things down. And you can tell that because of the situations that happened in the Throne of Glass universe, a lot of things were not written down. So that's just my historian brain.
Especially. Yeah, you can see that especially too when we're in oh my gosh, when we're with Kale, when we're in Tower of Dawn and they go to those ruins.
I think that, and that plays a lot into like my theories is Tower of Dawn and Summer. I think you probably have a lot of stuff on that too. And it has to do with, you know, him and Irene going to these temples down in the southern continent. And like, you can see where those kinds of things connect into these other universes. And then I would probably say Crescent City. I think that universe has been around for a really long time, but because of the crossing, a lot of history was lost, and I think it's because of the Asteri. I think they eradicated a lot of the history of that universe, so we just don't know it. And I feel like moving forward, and this is just a theory, moving forward, we're probably going to learn a lot more about their universe because of our other two universes.
And humans were on Midgard before the Fae came. We don't know how long they were there.
Yeah, so let's say instead of saying one universe is older than another, let's say that ACOTAR has the most well-established history.
That's
I think that is the fairest statement that we can make at this point in time with the knowledge that we have.
So the Daglin were on Prythian like thousands of years before Amren even came to Prythian. And they drank the magic of the land like wine. Wow. How weird is that?
Doesn't that sound familiar?
That sounds a little bit familiar. Other things that we know about the Daglin, they created the Wild Hunt. They were overthrown by Phaon using Gwydion, aka the Star Sword. The Illyrians and the Seraphim and the Peregrine were all created by the Asteri to be their warriors. The Asteri claimed to have created the items of the Dread Trove and tricked the Fae of the Dusk Court, or the Starborn Fae, for those skeptical of the Dusk Court, into the crossing by using the harp and Luna's horn. And the Asteri mentioned that they have/had multiple access points in Prythian. So, there are a few things that I would like to talk about based off of what we already know on the Asteri. Particularly the access points, I think, is a very interesting conversation. And also what their power sources might have been while they ruled. I mean, these bitches go way back in there. One of the most interesting things, I remember when I did my ACOTAR reread after I finished CC2, that pool of starlight in the spring court. When I read that part, literally it kept me up at night. I was awake in the dark looking at my ceiling for like 3 hours. Like, what the fuck is that pool of starlight doing in the spring court? What is that? Because it sounds like First Light. And it sounds what is it? What the fuck is it?
Yeah.
These kinds of things make me question, like, just how long SJM has been, like, planning this shit. Like, I know for me, like, I've been thinking of stories in my head since I was a kid. Like, has she been, like, literally planning all of this for decades? Well,
she started writing ACOTAR right around when Throne of Glass initially was being published.
But she wrote the stories in Assassin's Blade when she was young. So I don't know. I'm just like, this one's...
obviously we see more crossover ties later in the Throne of Glass series. I think she kind of was like weaving them through, like, sort of as an afterthought there, but definitely from the start of ACOTAR.
Let me ask that question really quick. Summer, do you have a description of the liquid that's in the cauldron?
I could certainly find one.
Okay. And the reason why I asked this question is because we know at the end of ACOWAR, when the cauldron breaks, well, it's as it's breaking that Feyre throws the book into the cauldron, and I am convinced that it is acting as a portal,
and that's how it got to the Crescent City,
to Jessica.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if potentially the liquid that's within the cauldron at this moment in time is the same liquid as the pool of starlight. And that potentially the cauldron at some point also acted as a portal. So that's my question. Because I think that the cauldron could potentially either be something that was created by the Asteri, or it could be an access point.
I would probably go with the access point, just because the way that they talk about the cauldron and like how it came from the mother, and like the mother, kind of poured it out and we got there, like the only thing that makes sense that people came out of that to kind of cultivate this world. Like the Fae came out of that as like a portal.
Yeah.
Which would make sense because of what we know of the southern continent in front of glass.
Okay.
Summer.
Inside the cauldron was nothing but inky, swirling black. Perhaps the entire universe had come from it. Pain and ecstasy and power and weakness flowed into me. Everything that was and wasn't, fire and ice, light and dark, deluge and drought, the map for creation. And then the King of Hybern fills it with liquid when he puts Nesta and Elaine into it.
Okay.
So I think
it's been a hot second.
I think the cauldron itself, I think, is the portal. The liquid acts as a mechanism for creation.
Yeah.
So I think if you didn't have the liquid in it, you could use it for you're probably thinking of Victoria
as a portal. Yeah.
That would be
because when Rhys and Feyre are repairing it, I don't think there's liquid in it. I think it's that swirling darkness.
It was
not as far as I can remember.
Yeah.
I just couldn't remember if we got an explicit description of the liquid from it when Elaine and Nesta were made.
He just said he filled it with liquid.
I think, and I think that kind of goes in with.
If it's I was gonna say, because if at some point that somebody else had used the cauldron for a similar situation and had the liquid in it, and then just maybe dumped it out wherever, that could be the pool of starlight. I don't know.
I think that would make sense too to have like these different types of materials as portals, because I know a lot of people throw around the theory that the three mountains are portals going under the mountain, especially the prison, like when Nesta went all the way down to the bottom, but also the bottom of the library. It's like that inky black.
Sorry, I found more about the water. Black smoke coated water. There you go.
Black smoke coated water. So it's possible. I'm not totally crazy.
No.
The only thing that I know is that
if you're crazy, I'm definitely fucking crazy.
The only thing I know is that the cauldron is definitely a portal in some sense, because there's just no way that the book didn't go through the cauldron and somewhere where the people in Crescent City could find it.
It's like the original word gate, like the word gate of all word gates.
Yeah. So now that makes me wonder: has the cauldron been to all of these universes? And is there something that we can find to give us that indication in all of our books? Summer, there is a new thing for you to look for when you read through these.
Or I haven't seen. Okay, I can tell you I have searched cauldron across all of the series, and the only other mention of it is one time in Throne of Glass when they mention that the king had like he's something about in search of a cauldron.
Okay, potentially though, it could also be that these gateways and the cauldron are made from the same material.
That's what I think. I think they're all made from
especially the gates in Crescent City, because they're so like. When I think of the water that was put into the cauldron and the way it rippled, I think of the light in the word gates as well. It cut for me in my head. It looks like, a little morbid here. It looks like that death gate in Order of the Phoenix, where it's kind of and that's how I picture it in my mind. Like it's moving. It's not just like a stable light. It's like a movement, because there's something else on the other side of it.
We also have the description of what the cauldron feels like and what Wordstone feels like. Just the overwhelming power that comes from it. It just feels like so like almost oppressive and ominous, and just they're described very very similarly. So I think there's something to that too.
Next series of notes, Summer. Lead us on.
Okay. So what the fuck were we talking about? Oh, that starlight pool. I was thinking about what power sources could be sort of remnants from when the Asteri were there. So that starlight pool question of like, is that maybe some old reservoir of power? Also, Calanmai. We haven't really talked about this yet, but everybody on Calanmai gives a little bit of their power over to the land.
I feel like we don't talk about it a lot because people tend to like skip over the first book because of Tamlin. There's a lot of information in the first one, because we're learning with Feyre, and she is learning a lot of things that we don't really pick up on in the first one. But then no one wants to go back and reread the first one because fuck Tamlin,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you're right. Like they, they're giving over this power. They're becoming more animalistic at Katalyn.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
Yeah, they're restoring the magic of the land. What do they call it? I don't remember. But it's like, so they're replenishing the magic of the land. That seems very fucking convenient.
It's very
for a magic drinker. I don't know.
I mean, it's very much so a fertility ritual.
Yes.
Yeah. They're essentially trying to make the land more fertile.
Well, it makes sense because they're moving into spring, and spring is like this fertile time for everything.
Ooh, you know what it also could be? Maybe that is something that was established, and the Asteri sort of took advantage of that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, like they saw over pagan holiday.
Yeah, they saw what was
like, oh, we can use that.
They saw what was happening, and they're just like, oh, so that's how we get the magic.
Yeah. And then there's also Starfall. Fucking Starfall is another thing that has kept me awake at night. Because what the fuck is that? Like, what is that?
I mean,
it seems like since CC2. Sorry, go ahead. When we learned about Second Light, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say we're on the same thought process, so you go right ahead.
So, I mean, it could be a manifestation of Second Light, but we don't know where it's coming from, and we don't know where it's going.
And why only once a year?
They are going towards Hybern. We do know that, but that's all we know. We know that they're supposedly souls. Hold on, let me just hop to my Starfall section. I've got a whole spread on this, so don't you worry.
Honestly, it makes it, knowing what we know about First Light now and the process of people going through the gates, it makes sense that it could be just the smallest piece of their souls that actually made it through that wasn't consumed.
Right.
So maybe that's why they are just these small little balls that are very aimless. Yeah. Like when Aelin falls through, like it's very clear that is an actual like person, like a soul.
Yeah.
A real soul. So it makes me wonder if parts of their souls and their magic wasn't being consumed, would Starfall be more like that, where you can like very clearly see?
I feel like that you could also tell for like what you just said, Victoria, like that is a whole soul, because it's described differently. Like when we're watching Starfall, it's like these silver stars, like these silver, like blue, greenish tinge, like stars falling across. But Aelin was very much described as like a red rocket across the sky. Like, she was going.
Yeah. Like everybody who saw it was like, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah. Which allegedly we're supposed to get more information about that in the next Crescent City book. So,
because now we have Bryce,
your editor made her take it,
and you're just like
the last one. So,
yeah. So with Starfall, so it falls on Ninsar in the spring, which is very close to when the Blood Rite happens, which I think is interesting. And it says that the spirits seem to decrease in number each year. Amren straight up doesn't participate because she's like, that's bad vibes. Like something about that disturbs her, which on my reread, I was like, what?
Why does it?
I was listening to the audiobook in my car and it said that and I was like, fucking pause. I just had to sit in silence for a second and think about that. So obviously Amren has an idea of what Starfall could be, or she gets the vibes that, you know, I'm just saying.
I would love to see Bryce at Starfall.
Her reaction.
Yeah.
Oh my god, can you imagine? We're probably gonna get that.
Because
she's gonna be like, whoa, what the fuck?
Because I feel like she'll probably see it and she will have, again, a completely different reaction from everyone else. But I would love to know her.
Oh my god,
her
everyone's
knowledge.
Gonna be celebrating.
Her being. I feel like, you know, being on that right track of it being like Second Light, and her being like, no.
Oh my god, that's totally what's gonna happen. Everyone's gonna be like, yeah, cheers, like it's fucking Starfall.
And she's gonna be like, dead people. Why are you celebrating this?
What the fuck is going on here?
She's like,
okay, so you guys are celebrating.
Oh my god. Wow. Yeah. Okay, I'm with that. New headcanon. Okay.
That will be interesting. Yeah. But it likely will happen because I know in a couple of interviews, Asham has said that Bryce is going to be in Prithian for a while.
Yeah.
So,
and depending on knowing what timeline that she is there, as far as we are concerned, I think she gets there pretty close to Starfall, or at least it's like the halfway point. So it like
6 months after ACOTAR.
Yeah, so I think it would be somewhere in like the next 6 months.
Hold on.
Of her being
Pause.
there.
Let me tell you. I can tell you when she lands. She lands in autumn in Prithian.
Yeah, so even if she wasn't there for a long time, she would still be there for Starfall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very interesting. Very interesting.
So many thoughts.
So if the Asteri are gone from Prithian, like, why would the spirits still be making the trip, and like in fewer numbers every time? So like, are there still Asteri / Daglin in Prithian, like
hiding,
slumbering, or hiding, or like what? I don't know.
Again, I'm going to talk about the prison. I'm going to talk about the prison at the very bottom where those souls were trapped. There's something to that. That is what keeps me up at night. I'm like, what the fuck is at the bottom of the prison? Like, what is that?
I think there's, speaking of the Asteri access points, right? So there's things under mountains.
Yes.
We know that for a fact. So could these be some of their access points?
Like, these mountains are sacred.
Under the prison mountain.
These mountains are sacred.
Under Ramiel.
People are terrified of these mountains. Like, absolutely terrified. They're just pieces of dirt poking up. Like, they're not scary, but these people are absolutely terrified of these mountains.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Especially the one my biggest concern is the one that they go under the mountain, like in that open space that people are like terrified to walk through. Like, I feel like there's something there. Like, this is an ancient part of the land, kind of like when we talk about like the United States. Appalachia are known as some of the oldest mountains on Earth.
No, not some of. They are.
Like, they are. Everyone's like,
Victoria's like, let me tell you about Appalachia.
No, Appalachia is quite literally the oldest mountain on the planet.
Fucking terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Because it's like the age of it, and you don't know what's in it. And I think that there's something to that in Prithian.
Yeah.
Like,
really quickly, I just want to throw out to what Kiara was saying earlier. They do mention several times that all three mountains are very safe spaces.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So. And there are specific quotes about like, they don't know what's under these places. Like specifically Ramiel. Mm-hmm. I think that there's definitely something under there, because there's a quote that says the Illyrians were never curious enough to see what secrets lie beneath Ramiel, if it too was carved up like the others by ancient hands.
And also, you know, during the rites thing in Silver Flames, you know, you touch the top of this mountain and it's a portal for you. Like,
exactly,
it's a gate. It takes you.
Yeah. And what if that stone also leeches power as well? Mm-hmm. Like, they're trying to get the most powerful warriors up to the top of this mountain, right? Mm-hmm. What if that also is a power source as well as an access point?
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
Mm-hmm. And I want
that gate could be acting like the gates in Crescent City, where it does take a drop of power every time it's used.
And now that I think about it,
that's exactly what I think it does. Actually,
now that I think about it, when they describe the archway that Nesta stands in to kind of make sure her friends get to the top, it's very reminiscent of the archways in Crescent City, where people go and give their magic. Mm-hmm. The way that it is described, how it is built. Mm-hmm. Powers that be, man.
And think about the sanctity of Ramiel. Like, it is legendary. You're not allowed to fucking go there except for on the blood rite. So, like, I don't know, that just seems incredibly fucking convenient to create a warrior generation to protect whatever is under there, you know?
I mean, it makes a lot of sense, because a lot of us have had the thought that each iteration of winged fae within Prithian were all created by the Asteri, and it started with Illyrians, then got up to the Peregrines and the Seraphim, and then finally, when they got to Crescent City, they created the angels.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy.
And why not use like your lowest caste of beings that you created, your winged warriors, and give them this false sense of legend as a reason to protect this thing that you need
fucking exactly.
Like, create this legend of this warrior that did this thing and protected this mountain, so that way it does become a sacred space for them.
Mm-hmm. Honestly,
that's a great way to keep everybody away from it.
I just want to see the Illyrian meet up with everyone in Crescent City, and like all the angels are just like, this is what you gotta do, and Illyrian being like, don't quote the great text to me, I was there when it was written. Like,
do not cite the deep magic to me, witch.
I was there when it was written.
Yeah. Oh man, speaking of, I keep getting, this is a slight tangent, I keep getting memes about Hunt and Cassian doing like a bank robbery or something.
Don't. They would.
And Cassian's like, I don't know how to drive. It's like, cars are a part of the plan. What do you mean you don't know how to drive? He's like, I don't know how to drive.
We don't have them.
We don't have that here.
God,
I just,
so
honestly, again, crack thing, I just want to see Cassian with a gun. I think he would have such a fun time with a gun.
Cassian and Aelin.
Oh my god.
The two of them.
I keep seeing the Aelin
Everyone talks
with a
about
gun,
Aelin
with
and
her
Reese
gun.
interacting, but I want to see Cassian and Aelin interact. Like, that is my Grack relationship. They would be the best of friends. Anyways, you talk about the Book of Breathing next, and I really want to talk about the Book of Breathing because the Book of Breathing is so fucking interesting.
Okay. Oh, so down. Okay, so the Book of Breathings was written by a species of mighty beings who feared the cauldron's power. And it's written in the Leshon HaKadosh, which is a holy tongue only Amryn knows in the Prithian world. Possibly.
But even she didn't know it very well. Like, she still had to get reference books.
Yeah. I think it's the formal language of the Asteri.
Okay, Summer, you have Book of Breathings next on your list right here, and I really want to talk about Book of Breathings. It's such a fucking interesting take. The books specifically are so interesting because there's books from different worlds, like getting into other worlds, and it's so, I'm like, why? What is, these have such a meaning than we are initially thought.
The books and the languages specifically are so interesting to me. So so the Book of Breathings, written by a species of mighty beings who feared the cauldron's power, and is written in the Leshon HaKadosh, which is a holy tongue. My theory is that it is the formal language of the Asteri, which is mentioned by Bryce when she's attempting to hack into Danica's account to get her password in CC1. That's like, I think that's one of, if not the only mentions of the formal language of the Asteri in Crescent City. There might be like one or two others, but on my reread when I read that, I was like, ooh, interesting.
So that makes me wonder.
Every time we get a new language mentioned, I'm like, how does this factor into all of our languages? You know?
That makes me wonder, would Bryce or Jessica be able to read the Book of Breathings?
Maybe so.
Because Bryce, she speaks the Fae tongue, and that is how she is able to communicate with Amryn and Reese.
Also, Bryce mentions the Book of Breathings, like when she sees it in the library, like all these texts that she's obviously familiar with, like, you know, The Walking Dead, the Book of Breathings, like she's the way that it's just dropped in there. It's like, it's not surprising that it's there. So she probably can.
We just mentioned all of our reactions the moment any of us fucking saw those words. We're just like, wait, what?
Yeah, no. Everybody, we gagged, all of us.
Reverse that.
Either of the other two series, ACOTAR or Throne of Glass, before Crescent City, you're just like, I'm sorry. If you tried reading Crescent City first, you're just like, I don't know what they're talking about.
What the fuck
For me, it was Book of Breathings, and I was like, no.
It was both of them, because I had just finished. I had, like, the most recent book that I had read up to that point was Kingdom of Ash. So, like, I was like, The Walking Dead.
Yeah, bitch, what the fuck are you doing here?
What?
Yeah.
So
yeah, the question we have here is, did the Asteri create the Book of Breathings?
I would hazard to say probably.
I mean, the way that it talks to Farah, it has very sort of evil vibes.
Yeah.
Very.
Right? Well, it feels, if you read the conversation between it and Farah, it feels very similar to the conversation between Bryce and what's his face? I can never remember his name. Rigulus, when he's caught her in the archive room.
In the dusk room,
it feels similar vibes.
The dusk room.
Yeah, I could absolutely see that they wrote it. But it's like it wants to be joined with the cauldron, right? And wasn't it forged like from whatever the cauldron is forged from?
Yeah, it's
Am I making that up?
Material.
Yeah,
okay. No, I'm pretty sure it is stated explicitly somewhere that it's forged from the same material.
So then that brings the question of, like, who did the Asteri make the cauldron as well? Like, I don't think that they did.
But I think it's because the cauldron, I think, was calling to Farah and telling her to, like, put the pieces together.
Yeah.
of the
Yeah,
books.
I don't know.
Split.
And because I had brought it up earlier that maybe the Asteri could have also made the cauldron, and it honestly at this point would not surprise me, because it could be the same thing as what is going on with Ramiel, in which they made the cauldron, brought forth this life, and then created this legend behind the cauldron saying that it was made by these magical forces, and the mother poured life into the universe and all of these things. It could be a similar situation, because I don't know, something about
that makes so much sense.
Something about it feels like, yes, it is this powerful thing, but it doesn't feel celestial.
Okay, but wait, in ACOTAR, when the cauldron breaks, and Rhys and Vera like funnel all of their power into fixing it to save like the structural integrity of the universe. Like, what do we think about that? That felt very real.
I think that it can be, and this is where it gets like hard to figure out what exactly the extent of its power is. I think it can be something akin to like a nuclear bomb, to where it was something that was created by like a lower level being, but is powerful enough that it could destroy the universe.
Perhaps these worlds existed, and then they were somehow able to weave the structural integrity of the universe into the cauldron when they forged it,
especially because
just tied them together.
Yeah, especially because it can also act as a portal. It's pulling in power from other spaces. So again, it can cause this eruption where it's pulling power in from other universes, and it's just so huge and overwhelming that it could inadvertently destroy the world that it's within.
Yeah. Maybe it just because I think that the cauldron is connected like to the word as well.
Yeah.
So I just this is what scrambles my brain trying to think about.
Yeah. It just, like I said, I feel like if it were this celestial tool, then it would respond differently in certain situations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I feel like it wouldn't whisper to Nesta. It wouldn't be angry that Nesta stole some of its power, you know?
Yeah.
If it were this like, I don't know how to explain it. It doesn't feel like it's that higher of a power. Like if the mother is a god that created the end all be all, why leave that kind of a tool so easily accessible in this universe?
This quote that I have in my notes: when the cauldron was made, its dark maker used the last of the molten ore to forge a book, the Book of Breathings. This book contains the secrets of the cauldron.
Yeah. And dark maker. So, the mother is neither light nor dark.
We're getting deep and sweaty.
Yeah. See, this is why people can't talk to me about theories, because I either make them very complicated or just ruin it altogether.
But I think we should also tie in this theory that we're seeing with Crescent City, because this is what I've been thinking about during this whole conversation, is like, did the Asteri make it? Where did it come from? Why was it left? But people are talking about how hell is situated into this, because ultimately Bryce thought she was going to hell. And people are saying that the library has 7 levels. Now there's different players on each one. People are terrified of the library. So I'm curious to see where that is going to fit into all of this, because obviously the Asteri left Prythian, or they say they left Prythian because of another power. And I feel like that is going to play into all of this with the cauldron, with the portals. Why we don't see or know of any portals, because if the people of hell are there, they probably are just like, no way, no how, no portals, ain't nobody going in or out. Like, no way. So I don't know. That's where my brain kind of went, because I'm just like, we have these players that we met in Crescent City that Bryce thought she was going to see, but now she is in Prythian, and we don't know what the other players are. So I'm just like, how is this all going to fit in together? Because we keep talking about the Asteri, and like, obviously we know they're the big bad, but like, who are these other players? Where do they fit in? What are they doing?
If are they more powerful than the Asteri then? Like the Asteri keep leaving?
Are they locked away in the prison because they are too powerful? Did the Asteri lock them in there? because they have too much power. Like,
no say.
I feel like this just like opened up more questions for me.
Maybe so. I don't know. Or maybe not necessarily. Well, maybe they do have more power when they're drained and don't have a source to feed from. That's entirely possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I mean, to be honest, the only beings that we've met so far concretely in the prison, we know that Amber was in the prison, we know that Lanthus was in the prison, who is allegedly a Vogue, and the Bone Carver, who is an old god.
Yeah.
So we have no idea who and what is also.
And Lanthus was like at the bottom. He is near this area that I am concerned about. That Nesta said that she could see, like, feel people within this end space at the bottom of the prison. What's there?
I also have questions about those people, which we can get into in the second half, because I feel like we'll move.
Listen, at this point in time, I feel like we might need to do 3 parts because there's just so much to discuss. We have the time, we have the space, we can probably throw in an extra one in there.
Who knows? There's a lot.
I could make it work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would not be one bit surprised if, again, they created the cauldron in some way and created the Book of Breathings as a way to help control it, and then created the legend of the mother.
And the legend of the Illyrians guarding Remiel.
So this brings me into my next point, which is what I just read of you, Summer. You have next up is talking about the gods. And I feel like this ties really well into this discussion that we're having about the Asteri, the people from hell, you know, the Book of Breathings, the cauldron, the prison, these gods that people talk of, you know, Koshi, the Bone Carver, like, what's his name that was at the bottom of the fucking library that they were let out?
Braxis.
Also, Braxis. There's another one in a different universe. That name is used a lot, I feel like, as well, the cross.
Yeah, so. I don't... Y'all know, I've said this a million times, I'll say it again, the gods confuse the fuck out of me. And I would just love, like, a flowchart or something. Give me like a God's family tree. Like, can you just fucking lay it out for me, SJM? Because I'm so exhausted trying to make it make sense.
Honestly, at this point, the only god that I am convinced that has crossed between at least Throne of Glass and ACOTAR is the Bone Carver, because they go into that
the Truth Temple.
Yeah, the temple that has the carvings in it. I'm not convinced about the gods that Aelin shoved into the world, that they're in ACOTAR or Crescent City or whatever, or that they're in hell. I don't think they're in hell either. I don't rightly know where any of them are, but
I think that aside from the Bone Carver, which I do think came from Throne of Glass, like the Sin Eater god, I think that the mother / like fate, the goddess, like that I think is consistent across all 3 worlds, because we've got in Throne of Glass we've got the 3-faced goddess, in ACOTAR we've got the mother fate, and then in Crescent City we've got Erd, who is the goddess / fate / the mother.
And I would also like to throw out there that this is Irish lore. This is Morrigan. This is Maeve. Like, these characters are like, Morrigan is like known as like the 3-faced goddess. So like
that also ties back into the Trinity thing. Ties back into Parthos as well, and the Archesian
and also
amulets.
Let's also talk about how we have 3 universes at this point in time. One who we have a large history of, which could be the Crone, the Mother, which could be Throne of Glass, and the Maiden, which could be the Crescent City world, because it's such a new world.
Ooh.
So I feel like SJM is really trying to play into this trying situation in a lot of different ways that people aren't like connecting. I feel like I just like broke Summer's brain with the 3 worlds.
I know, I was like in Summer's face when you said that.
She was like, wait.
Yeah, I think for sure the mother, the 3-faced goddess, and all of those, if they're not the same person, they're at least connected.
And because in every world we've got these priestesses who serve this, or these like women who serve this 3-faced goddess. Yeah,
I don't like how the witches priestess.
But they, they've got
they serve the three-faced goddess. They have them debating about the throne.
I hope
and they have the witchers and like.
I hope we meet some witches in the ACOTAR universe, because that's the only universe so far that we haven't seen any witches. We know that they're there, we just haven't met any.
Yeah. We know that the Illyrians are fucking scared of them.
Yeah, that they're terrified.
Interesting. If you ask me.
Yeah, there's a lot.
But
I don't know. There's so much, and then also this is gonna play more into when we get to the Crescent City talk. But I just really want to throw that out there because Kiara brought up the different worlds. Do you guys remember when Aelin fell? And she mentioned
there was more than 3 worlds that she went through.
She mentioned, hold on. There was a nice little world that she mentioned specifically covered in water. Do we think that that's going to come and play at any point?
I really possibly hope so, because it's not just that. It's also like obviously Aelin fell through those worlds, but then when she's with the gods and she's shoving them into these doors, there's multiple doors. There's multiple worlds that like. We see it when she, in Crown of Midnight, when she obviously, this is the first time that we see her with her power, when she's crossing over into that portal to get her dog.
Obviously.
Dog letting him stress. There's this world that we obviously know is the world that she attempted to push all the gods into. Like, what is that? Where are they? What is this world of water? Is that where the mer people are from? Like...
Maybe. And then we got Meryl's bitch ass in Silver Flames talking about all these 26 worlds like she's researching.
Meryl is Summer.
She gives me priestess vibes.
No, Meryl is Summer within the universe. She's like, I'm like a notebook. She's like, this is my red string. Like, I don't know.
For real though.
Man. Yeah. There's just a lot. Okay. Well, I think this is motivation enough for us to add probably a third.
I think so. I think there's a lot to go over, and the next point, which I think is a great place to stop at, I think this next point that you have on your list is a great place for us to start in the next episode, because I know that you just want to talk about the Illyrians forever, Summer.
So bad.
Just a whole episode on Illyrians.
I feel like the whole, like, it's a bulk of an episode is going to be like talked about with the Illyrians. So I feel like this was originally a 2-parter. I think we're probably going to make it a 3-parter because there's just so much information that we get within the throne, like
Silver Flames especially.
Yeah, so much comes out in Silver Flames, and I think that Silver Flames is the reason why a lot of us are going back and reading rereading the first 3 books, because we're like, wait. Like, obviously everyone's like, oh, it's Crescent City that's making us reread to pick things up, but I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure it's Silver Flames when it comes to the ACOTAR series, because there are so many things that you read in that book and you're like, I've heard this before, or I've seen this before. Like, why does this sound familiar? And it's because we had been given glimpses of it earlier on. So there's just so much that happens in this series. I don't know why she did this to us, but SJM is really cruel. Really cruel. But
we love it.
I think this is a great place for us to like stop.
Yeah, we will end here for today and continue on with the Illyrian portion, because we know that it's going to be a really big section, because there is a lot of lore involved in both the Illyrians themselves and the stories that the Illyrians are derived from.
And Summer is obsessed with the Illyrians.
I have a whole spread on the Illyrians. Look at this.
Wow, that's so cute. Look at the wings.
This is also. This is also Illyrian stuff.
So, yeah, definitely make sure to come back to part 2 for that bit of this whole massive ACOTAR talk. Continue to keep up with these episodes, because once we're done with ACOTAR, we will be moving into Crescent City, which is definitely more my wheelhouse. Very excited about that one. And who knows, maybe we'll be at Flame and Shadow by the time
I think the way we have everything, I think the way we have this scheduled out, and we can still probably keep it scheduled out because we are going to be readjusting some of our episodes anyways, is that our last Crescent City episode is supposed to come out like a week, maybe 2 weeks before Flame and Shadow is released.
Yeah, which we're under 200 days now.
Yeah, it comes out the day Crescent City 3 comes out.
Yeah, so
nice. So keep an eye out for those. Make sure to follow us on Instagram. I'm sure we'll have plenty of updates there. You can follow us at Thirsty Bitches Podcast. You You can also email us at tvp.staythirsty@gmail.com, and you can use the new Q&A feature on Spotify or leave us a comment on our YouTube channel. We do also do videos on YouTube where you can see all of the absolutely insane faces that we make. But for now, Kiara, will you take us out with an affirmation?
I will. So today's affirmation is, I understand that to embrace new beginnings, I must let go of what is holding me back. Boom.
Love.
Aw.
There it is.
Mic drop.
Well, thank you, Summer, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So much fun.
I love these. I love these so much.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, everyone else, for joining us as well. Make sure to tune in on Tasty Tuesdays and Thirsty Thursdays for all new episodes. Be sure to subscribe and follow our socials listed in the description. Please make sure you like, rate, and leave a review for the podcast to help boost us across the platforms. Have a lovely day. And remember, stay thirsty, bitches.